In this video, I'm answering a viewer's question about why we chose the Pleasure-way Ascent, and I'm also going to address some of the things we would love to see changed. Our search began 2 to 3 years ago. We had a retirement date for my husband and started looking into what kind of vehicle we wanted. Did we want a trailer? Did we want or did we want a camper van? Back in the 80s, we'd had a Volkswagen camper van and had liked it, but that was obviously not going to work for us in our older years because we liked a few more comforts. We quickly narrowed down to a Class B van, and then it was which brand. I actually didn't come across the Pleasure-way brand until very late in the search. We'd even gone up to Fresno to the Sportsmobile factory where they do kind of custom camper vans and looked at those. They said it would be a year wait. That wasn't a problem because it was going to be a year away. But then it wasn't too long after that I stumbled on to the YouTube channel that Neil with, I think he calls his channel now Ultra Mobility, and I'll link it below. And he had a video well, actually he had only posted a couple videos by then, and one of them was his vehicle. One of the things I really wanted was something with more European styling. I had been in a lot of RVs that just looked cheap and outdated, and so I wanted something with more of that kind of European modern styling. So I saw, just looking at his video, I could see the interior of his van, and I went, what's that? Well, it turned out to be a Pleasure-way, and then that started me on the search for a Pleasure-way that I could actually see, hands-on. Well, that wasn't so easy. There were none in stock at any of at the few dealers there were here in Southern California, and so I started looking just around the community. And I was riding my bike at the beach one day and saw this van pull in, and I thought, is that a Pleasure-way? And then as he drove by, I could see the name on the side that it was, and so I turned around on my bike and started racing after this guy, hoping that he was going to stop and park. And sure enough, he did. And he was a super nice guy. He let me look at his rig. And then he told me about a dealer that was even closer to our home. And he said, you really ought to check them out. They're small, but they're close and they're convenient and all that. So that's what led me to buying the Pleasure-way, really. So we had looked at other van builds, and some of the quality out there is really pathetic. And I didn't want a lousy, particle board that was going to fall apart and look terrible very rapidly. So high quality was really important. Now at that point, I wasn't really sure whether we were going to lean more toward the Ram chassis or the Sprinter chassis. And so we were able to go down, and my husband, who is quite tall, was able to sit in the Ram chassis, and we realized right away that that was not going to work for him. He just was too tight behind the driver's seat. The dealer didn't have any new Pleasure-way vehicles in stock, but they did have a used one that we were able to sit in, and they told us that the next, like a few days from then, they were going to have the brand new model in. They were going to have two of them. They were going to have the new one on the Ram chassis, and then this Ascent. And when the guy told me what the interior was, I went, oh, that just might work. So we scheduled to go in the very day, within probably hours of them getting the vehicle. Nothing like showing how eager you are, going in and looking at it. So even though it probably sounds like I acted very impulsively, I actually kind of, had narrowed down all of the things that I wanted in a van, and also kind of the price that, we thought was a good price to offer them. But I've created a list of the things that were important to me when we were looking for a van, and I'll go through them. Number one was the layout. And as you can see if you watch any of Neil's or any of Neil's videos, you can see that he also was drawn toward the Pleasure-way layout. And the reason we like it is because we like all of the glass on the passenger side, making it easier to maneuver in it. You can actually see on that side of the vehicle all the way back. And the driver can, obviously using the mirrors, has an easier time on the driver's side. So that was a huge factor for us. This is the view from the driver's side, so you can actually see all the way back and lean your head out and see vehicles. That makes it much more safe for driving. Second most important thing was the solar. We wanted solar and we wanted lithium batteries. We've had solar on our house for over a decade and it's worked beautifully, so I didn't have any hesitation there, and I knew that lithium was the way to go because we didn't want to worry about having to draining the batteries so that they were damaged or anything like that. So this vehicle has 200 amp hours of lithium batteries and it has approximately 200 watts of solar on the roof. Also at the top of our list was the bathroom. Indoor shower, not an issue. I did want an outdoor shower, but I just wanted a bathroom. And of course, I wanted us both to be able to fit in it. Now, it's a little tight for my husband, but for me it's perfect. So that was a huge issue. And it's also a porcelain toilet as opposed to a plastic one. We wanted a comfortable bed that we would both fit in. Now, the bed, of course, really is too short for a tall guy unless his feet hang over. And that has actually worked out fine. But the comfort of the bed was super important, and this thing is really comfortable. I sleep better in this bed than I do in my home bed. I also wanted an on-demand water heater. I didn't want to have a tank that was too small so that if you did take a shower, you didn't have enough hot water. So the on-demand water heater has been a huge bonus. A couple of things that didn't matter to us were the generator. In fact, I've never needed to use the generator. And the microwave. It's, I don't know, it's okay, but I rarely use it. It really is just for storage. I think that space could be used more effectively in other ways. Initially, I thought a television was really kind of a waste, but we've actually turned out using it mostly to plug in our iPads and watch downloaded movies and things on a larger screen. But the antenna on top, I would love to be able to get rid of that and use that for maybe a storage rack or something like that. The DVD player never gets used. It would be a lot nicer to have a cell booster here in this spot where the electronics are. There are several things I would change about the Sprinter chassis, and that's on the Mercedes side. It has nothing to do with Pleasure-way. And then there are a few things on the Pleasure-way side, and I think I'll talk about both things that I would love to see improved. The backup camera points straight down. I don't know if you can tell from this video, but here's the backup camera. It points straight down, and so you can't see cars approaching. For our money, I would love to see this air conditioner either changed with something really quiet or just eliminated, because we would never be able to sleep with that air conditioner on. I suppose if you're plugged in somewhere, it might be nice during the day, but we avoid places that are too hot. There's only one armrest on the inside. There's nothing on the outside. It would be nice to have that additional armrest. This drawer that pulls out, holds change and whatnot, is worthless. This is the reason that John spilled his coffee on our very first trip. You can't put anything in there with liquid in it. It would be much better to have some kind of a pull-out drawer where you could stow your phones and things that are charging. 12-volt plug is not conveniently placed. At least I was able to find this adapter that gives us the option of having two things plugged in and also two USB ports. It would be much better if they put a second one right here where the cigarette lighter is. Behind the driver's seat is where you store the two boards that make your couch into a bed. And that's fine and keeps it out of the way, but these hooks do not hold it in place. It needs something a little bit more robust. Funny how the little things can be so irritating. But Mercedes needs to rethink some things, including the door locks. When you start driving, all the doors will lock like that. And when you get there, you can open it. If you open your door, then your driver's door will unlock, but the other doors remain locked. And so there's always this struggle of, oh, you're getting out of the vehicle and then one of the doors is locked. And the way you unlock them is just, I don't know. I don't know why they put it here. It's this button right here. And if you push it once, it doesn't do anything, as you can see. Then I push it again, then it unlocks. Why can't it just be a simple on or off? Maybe seemingly stupid thing, but the horn on this car is as wimpy as you can get a horn. We're actually thinking of having someone install something with a little bit more muscle to it, because it wouldn't alert anyone if somebody was backing into you or something like that. If you blow this horn, it's not going to get their attention. This is not the original stereo that came with this rig. The one that Mercedes provides is horrible, and I've heard other people say the same thing. It is just awful. The nav system, so unintuitive. We just finally got exasperated with it, and the screen was like probably half this size. So we took it to a stereo expert and had them replace it. And then finally, the key fob. The key fob actually does not, see that little red there? It doesn't come with red on there. I took some red fingernail polish and painted it on there because, you know, if you're getting older and your eyes are going, you can't see which one is unlocked and which one's locked. And also, why can't this be a remote key? Why do we need a key? Why do we need to stick the key in the ignition? It would be so nice to have a remote key so that when you walked up to the car, the door is unlocked and you were good to go. On the Pleasure-way side, they fall down in cup holders. They could easily add some cup holders to the sides, I think, somewhere, so that if you are in the back, maybe you're taking a couple of passengers, kids, for example, there's no place to put a drink. So I've tried to figure out a way to add cup holders or something to the rig. Haven't come up with it yet, but cup holders are definitely needed back here in the back. It's good about providing ports for charging things. So you've got two here and then you've got two on the other side. I think this would be also a great place to add in a cup holder. Maybe move this plug slightly or something, but need some cup holders back here. I also believe that Pleasure-way needs to change their table mount. It needs to be moved forward just a couple of inches, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to extend the couch and show you. So, you can see I just pushed, it's not even down all the way, and I'm touching the center leg there. And if they would just move it out so that you could extend the back without having to remove that leg, then if you're just traveling alone and only need the bed for one person, then you still have to remove the table and leg. The heater works really well in this rig, and so we have no complaints there. I've mentioned before that Pleasure-way has a gazillion lights, but not a light for right underneath the stovetop. So that's why I have this tap light. It would be a great spot for them to put something that's controlled right next to the bed, so when you get up in the middle of the night, you don't stumble. And then as far as the refrigerator, yes, we wanted a three-way. I just never realized how pathetic RV refrigerators were. But I think that Pleasure-way needs to go the route, I think, of Road Trek in using compressor refrigerators instead of the absorption type. And there is one thing that a lot of people do worry about when it comes to Pleasure-way and their decision to eliminate the spare tire. Now, I understand that it is probably not safe to try to change a tire on one of these 10,000-pound vehicles, but you know, and they say that whoever comes to repair it, and there's some kind of warranty that goes with it, will have a spare for you, but I just don't trust that. We are considering a trip to Alaska next summer, and we are going to look into getting a spare tire that's mounted on the rear of the vehicle. And I will put a link below to a company that has done that, and we're probably going to go that route next summer for a longer trip. Pleasure-way also, I think, needs to rethink this sink. Personally, I don't see any reason why you couldn't have a sink faucet that doubles as an outdoor shower, because you could easily put one of those pull-out hose things on here and use this side of the rig to shower as opposed to the opposite side. I would love to see Pleasure-way help their customers out by finding someone to manufacture bedding for their particular platform. This is an odd size and an odd shape, and it's frustrating for a new buyer to find something that works for them, and it would just make them even more loyal customers. I almost forgot to mention one of our favorite features, which are these screen closures for the back door as well as the side door. You just unclip it on both sides, and then it just rolls down. And the great thing about it is it opens and closes like that, and it's a magnet that keeps it closed. So just finds its home and it stays there. In the back, it's kind of the same thing. So back here, it zips all the way down, covers the storage area. There's also this secondary zipper, so that if you have to get in short of that, you can access it this way. And if you want, you can just roll it up part way and have the garage portion exposed and just the living area enclosed with the screens. I just want to end by saying we really like our Pleasure-way Ascent and wouldn't trade it in on anything else. So I don't want this to sound too negative, but I think manufacturers need to get the message from the people who are using the products to help them improve them in the future. And I hope Pleasure-way gets this message. They could be so much better, and Mercedes as well. Mercedes needs to stop thinking about their Sprinter chassis as just a utility vehicle and realize that there's this market, this huge market out there that wants some improvements in their vans. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, pop them down below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching.